So I've talked about Sonic X quite a bit on my channel before. I spoke highly of it, and honestly it plays a big role in why I was always such a big fan of the Sonic the Hedgehog series. My first video on YouTube is actually about Sonic X, so I mean that should kinda tell the whole story. I say all that to say to really drive home the point that I honestly and truly love Sonic X. Sure, watching it nowadays as a older, wiser version of myself, I can see the many flaws of what this show had to offer, like sometimes the animation looked a lot like a wacky PowerPoint presentation, especially the fight scenes. I seriously remember them being much more epic than this. In spite of the animation, at times I found myself really enjoying what this show had to offer, even nowadays. All the episodes I watched, I always found myself smiling ear to ear with excitement, wondering what would happen next and laughing at all of the corny jokes the show proposed. However, there is one episode that I found to be rather gloomy. Granted, that didn't diminish the greatness of it, and it was just something I wasn't really expecting to see at the young age of maybe 6 or 7 years old. This was the 19th episode of the 2003 anime, and it was released on August 10th, 2003 in Japan, and everywhere else on the 7th of February in 2004. The episode was titled Sonic Scream Test, and in other areas it was called like The Ghost of the Old Castle King Boom Boo, a rather wordy title, so for the sake of the video, I will be calling it Sonic Scream Test throughout. Anyway, I want to talk a bit about this episode itself, and what made it stand out amongst some of the other episodes in the rest of the show. Now, I'm not going to sit here and lie and tell you that this is the best episode of the entirety of Sonic X, because I just don't think that's true. But I will say that the events that transpired in this episode are more memorable ones to say the least. The craziest thing about this episode is that it's not like there are any new concepts added here. It's really just a ghost story but with Sonic characters. But that doesn't make it any less good though. Sonic has done ghost themes before, so it's only natural that some of these elements would transfer over, especially since this show takes a lot of inspiration from previous games like Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2. I mean, they even brought back the same ghost King Boom Boo from Sonic Adventure 2, so that's pretty cool. But anyway, let's get into a bit of the synopsis. So it kind of starts off with Sonic and his crew hanging out at this abandoned castle as they're watching Lindsay Thorndike, Chris's mother, film her lines for a movie, since, you know, she's an actress. Except for the quiet, ominous, creepy laughter at the beginning, it starts off pretty normal. It's your typical Sonic X episode with your very usual tropes. I still find it very weird how for some reason Lindsay still believes that Tails and Amy are just kids in a costume, considering how small they are, but it was still a reoccurring theme for the show, so I guess it makes sense from a continuity standpoint. Either way, the episode continues showing us that once again, Sonic just can't mind his own business as he explores the giant castle. Weird stuff happens inside because the cameraman moves an hourglass shaped thing, but nothing too crazy. However, this is just foreshadowing for later events. Eventually, nighttime strikes, and this is where the stuff actually gets real. Lindsay and her recording crew attempt to record another scene, but because of technical difficulties, they have to scrap the rest of the recording. Everyone is off to their rooms for the night except for the audio guy and Sonic, of course, who still can't seem to mind his own business. And while all of this is happening, the ghosts begin to appear. And then comes our first pretty creepy scene, where we see Lindsay look in the mirror and see her horrid reflection. And the worst thing about this is, the ghost is actually talking to her. Now, this was never scary to me, but you gotta remember, as a 6 or 7 year old kid, I already didn't do well with ghosts, zombies, or nearly anything in the horror variety. I mean, as a kid, I was even afraid to play survival mode of Minecraft at nighttime, and those monsters are literally just blocks, so needless to say, this was a part of the episode that kinda gave me the creeps. Anyway, Lindsay goes missing, and everyone is on the hunt searching. Amy, Ella, Cream and Cheese get the closest to finding her until they all get caught up in some ghost business. Out of the three of them, everyone gets pulled into the wall except for Amy. Sonic, Tails, and Chris show up to help, then Sonic says,
"I don't believe in ghosts."
He then kicks the wall where they reside, revealing a pink ectoplasm type thing. Sonic fights the ghost with his bare hands, fails, and then says,
"Maybe there is such a thing as ghosts after all."
Ghosts then proceed to capture Tails and Sonic. Another really interesting moment about this episode that pretty much differs from every other is that Sonic doesn't save everyone to the same degree he normally does. Sonic is actually captured. It happens in other episodes of course, but I don't think any of them do it to this level. In this completely original episode of Sonic X, Sonic is not the main character, yet he is present. The craziest thing about this is, it actually works. Anyway, Sonic throws the hourglass and Amy cries because Sonic is gone. That next morning, Chris and Amy find out more about the hourglass. Chris gets afraid and Amy resumes despite the danger, kind of forcing Chris to go with her. We later get a glimpse at King Boom Boo, and we also find out the ghosts are afraid of the hourglass, so they use it as a weapon. Sonic wakes up out of his unconscious state and sees that he has been captured, and for some reason, he is the only one awake. I don't understand why that is, but hey, that's how it is. He sees where Amy and Chris are and attempts to provide instructions, but a ghost distorts everything he says, causing the ghost to become more powerful. Then King Boom Boo reveals that he tricked Amy, and Amy proceeds to fight the ghost and ends up getting possessed by one. This was one of the creepiest moments of the episode as a kid. I mean, look at that face. Ugh. Anyway, she chases Chris around the room and he figures out the whole deal with the hourglass. Here in this scene, Chris is given a lot of time to think, and for some reason, nobody attacks him. Not Amy, and not any of the other ghosts either. Like I said before, I love Sonic X, but it's moments like these where I just have to sit and question what is going on here. Everybody gets free, and Sonic and Amy absolutely decimate the ghost. I never actually understood why that happened, because before they would just go right through them. But since the sun side is facing up, just like the games, the ghost can be hit. Tails gives Sonic a ring, and then he gives King Boom Boo a stomachache until he comes back devouring the staircase. They all manage to get out as Chris dramatically slams down the hourglass the wrong way. Nicely done, Chris. Nicely done. At the very end of the episode, we find out that the person who built the castle actually ended up building it on an ancient burial ground, and he laughed at the general idea of ghost, and thus why he ended up disappearing the first night he stayed at the castle, never to be seen again. And that's literally how the episode ends. There's no continuation, no resolution, no nothing. Like, it's so unsettling. That's what makes this episode so creepy and so unlike the other episodes. There's no actual conclusion. We don't know if that man is actually alive, the ghosts were never defeated, and Chris never flipped the hourglass to the sun side up. As far as I know, that area was never closed off, even though the police knew about its haunted history. People could very well still be walking in that castle and just staying there just to end up getting kidnapped by some ghosts and nobody will ever know about them getting lost. It's not really the content of the episode that makes it creepy, it's the ending that manages to leave so many loose ends that will probably never be tied. This was for sure one of, if not the most creepiest thing I've seen out of the entirety of the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. Maybe I haven't seen enough, but this is pretty bad. What's going on, guys? Thank you all so much for sticking around to the end of the video. Now I want to hear from you. What Sonic X episode was your personal favorite? I'm not sure if Sonic's Scream Test was my favorite, but it definitely left an impression, as you can obviously tell. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. One more thing before I go here is I want to take the time to shout out some of my legendary channel members. Thank you all so much for supporting me and my channel. You guys are truly the best motivators. Every day I wake up praising the Lord for awesome people like you guys. Thank you all so very much. If you want to become a member of my channel, there will be more information in the link in the description down below. But if you want to support me through other means, leaving a like, comment, and subscribing definitely goes a super long way. Anyway, with all that said and done, thank you all so much for watching. This is SONICSTA signing out. Have a super blessed day, y'all.
Why are you playing that trash?